Richie, thanks for joining us. An eventful evening and a satisfactory outcome.
I thought I don't know what minute Azim got sent off on, but I thought we was outstanding. Could have been 2 or 3 up. Young players playing with freedom, playing exactly like we want them to play. I thought Don Ballard's debut was excellent. He could have had a couple of goals, and I thought it was Jack Morehouse outstanding. El Mazzuni was outstanding. In fact, everybody, because it was obviously when you go down to 10 men so early, it's difficult, especially when you've got young players that are making the way in the game. And when they play in 21s games, that lactic acid, that fatigue comes quicker in these games. So we knew he was going to arrive in the last latter parts of the game with a few struggling bodies, but I thought we was worthy to win. I thought even with listen, tactically we have to be different. But I thought the players carried out what we wanted, especially from half time onwards. Last 6 or 7 minutes from them in the first half, they were good. Ball speed was good. He was open on his stretchings of full width of the pitch. Their 2-8s were high and running through gaps, and the movement when an 8 ran in, the striker run in. Otherwise, the 2 strikers were pulling us apart with runners through the middle. Hence, when the goal comes from, we've overloaded the back stick. So we had to change to a 5 with a 3 in front, and I thought it worked really, really well. Like I say, really, really good. And then when we needed to, we dug in. We showed unbelievable spirit. So I'm really happy for the lads that started today.
And it was a special free kick from Charlie.
He's got that in his locker. I've seen him do it for obviously loads and loads of times. He's just not had that platform to do it in an environment where people take notice. So I thought all game he looked fit. When we put him to right wing back, he could have made a couple of chances. He's getting more athletic. He's looking powerful. So like I say, he's just on his start of his journey in terms of men's football. But we've got 3 or 4 like Jack Morehouse is taking his time a little bit and today you see he could potentially be a top player. And when you take a player like that, you're always worried about what about second balls, what about physicality? But we need to, okay, and what's he brilliant at? Okay, and he's brilliant at getting it on the ball deep and making things happen. I thought he was outstanding. But like I say, every man, 2 centre halves very good. Michael Craig was very good. So all in all, a good night.
It was, but it could have been so different, particularly after that dismissal of Azim Abdullahi.
Yeah, I mean, he's not meant it, has it? But it is a sending off. He's gone high and he's caught the lad, and it doesn't look great. I remember Man United done one years ago in the Champions League where Nani's the ball's coming over his head and he's never looked at him. I don't think that. Azim's told me that he doesn't look at him. He didn't see him, but I've watched it back. It don't look great. So it's probably a red card. But then we have to respond for that. We responded. Obviously, you need bits of magic when you're down to that, or counter attacks. And I thought in terms of the free kick was a bit of magic, and then we score a goal from a counter attack. And then obviously you have to defend your box well. So we ticked a lot of boxes tonight.
And Killian Cahill, was a big night for him, wasn't it, ahead of Saturday?
It was a big night because we know that Tommy's missing. So he's got all the attributes. He just needs to relax a little bit at times. He wants to, if we're dropping 5 and 6 players deep against 2 or 3 of their players, there's no point kicking it long because we've got the overloading build-up. If we come from this side of the pitch and these 5, 6, 7s and their strikers are locking onto us, it's no good reversing it to the opposite side of the pitch because we're open. Just little management thing. We've got a lot with a lot of players. It's about learning the game management, the decision making, the little things that you need at first team level.
Any injuries tonight ahead of Saturday?
No, just a couple with cramp. Like I said, he's got a few people who are just starting out in their first team journey. So, like I said, the lactic acid kicks a little bit differently when you're playing against men.
So, broadening the conversation about injuries, can I ask about Gordon and White?
Joe White got injured literally within. Not many people know this, but in the last 20 minutes against Mansfield, we played with 9 because Joe was really, really struggling with his calf, couldn't move. So the diagnosis from Joe back at Mansfield was 4 to 5 weeks. So obviously that's gone down a couple of weeks now. So we expect him probably 2 to 3. Sorry, who was the other one? Gordon. And Lamar Gordon. Yeah. Lamar Gordon just was in the squad. Again, he's a young kid that he's coming in, and we've signed him as a development player. And we felt that Sonny's been brilliant. Okay, Sonny's been excellent in training. I've seen a shift in his mentality. We spoke to him 2 or 3 days ago. He really enjoys it here. He doesn't want to leave, but he has to perform. It's horrible football, isn't it? Because it's a pressure industry, and ultimately you have to perform. So the window's shut, thankfully. We know what players will work with now. It's just up to us. I thought Sonny was excellent. A threat, got hold of the ball, countered well. Could have maybe scored 1 or 2, but I thought his ball retention was really, really good. And as soon as his number went up, our fans started clapping straight away. So I think they appreciate his work today. But yeah, Sonny is... Lamar, he's got a couple of people ahead of him at the moment.
As you were saying, it's been a very important and busy transfer window. Now it's shut. Are you happy with the business that's been done?
I think it was always going to be difficult, wasn't it? I think if you look at our team that played the last 7-8 games of the season, we've lost a hell of a lot of players. And when you're a team that lose... I think Peterborough are a good example. They sold players on for multi millions of pounds and been brilliant for their club as a business, but it is difficult to keep replacing them. I think we don't judge as yet. I seen Lingy's interview yesterday and I thought he was excellent. You always judge, and I know what supporters are like. It's like, my mates are Man United fans, and I was texting Sesko's not very good. He's played 90 minutes and he's not fit against Grimsby. It's like, come on, let's give these lads a fair crack at the whip. I think we're seeing a lot tonight to take forward. Again, so these have not started well, but I think they've got some good players, and obviously they've recruited well in the last 24 hours. So I think the answer to your question is, people like to listen to what I say and then mumble it up and then go on Twitter, because George told me. Okay, my words were, we are 3 or 4 short of last season. That's our bodies. But we've brought 3 or 4 players in that earn more than what we paid last year. So therefore we've had to go with 3 or 4 short. Don't twist my words, okay? And then I said our budget allows for 1 more. Actually, our budget didn't allow for 1 more because of Alfie Lloyd's injured. We've had to go extra on top of, so we've actually gone over budget now. So don't start twisting my words. I appreciate what Nigel and David have done on the board, because it's not ideal when you sign a striker and he comes in on the first training session and then you're starting to judge our team without an out number 9. I think you've seen a 9 today that wanted to run in behind, that wanted to stretch defenders, that wanted to press. Now we've gone with Connolly probably too much, and I think Aaron's attributes are feet, turning, running, dribbling. So we needed to get a player. First of all, it was Alfie Lloyd that could get the most out of the way that we want to play in terms of our press and stretching. And then we've gone with Don Ballard on a permanent deal, which I think is excellent business from the club. I think you've seen a lot of good signs from him tonight.